When you master your inner self, everything outside must respect you. They told you women want romance. They told you to chase, to please, to beg for affection. But here's the brutal truth. What women can't resist is not your flowers, not your texts, not your sweet words. It's your unshakable inner strength. A man who masters his emotions becomes untouchable. He stops seeking validation and starts commanding respect. And once you live by the Stoic code, you'll realize love follows power, never the other way around. Most men fall into the same trap. They believe their worth depends on how much attention they get from women. They think if she replies quickly, if she compliments them, if she chooses them, then finally they are valuable. But this is the biggest lie society feeds you. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Validation from others is unstable, fleeting, and always outside your control. If you build your identity on it, you'll forever be a prisoner of someone else's approval. Look at the men who constantly chase, texting nonstop, begging for attention, changing who they are just to fit her mood. They end up exhausted, insecure, and ironically, unattractive. Why? Because dependency kills respect. A Stoic man flips this script. He recognizes that self-worth must come from within, through discipline, clarity, and mastery of his own emotions. Once you stop seeking external validation, you project strength without even trying. And that strength leads us to the next step, understanding how control, not over her, but over yourself, is the foundation of true power. The harsh truth is this: the man who cannot control his emotions will always be controlled by others. When a woman knows she can push your buttons through jealousy, silence, or drama, she owns your mind. And once you lose emotional control, you've already lost the game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of Stoicism. The only battlefield that truly matters is the one within your own head. Think about it. A man who gets angry when ignored, desperate when she pulls away, or jealous when she talks to another guy, he is not leading, he is reacting. And reactions are weakness. But the man who stays calm, collected, and unshaken, he radiates authority. He becomes the center of gravity that others naturally revolve around. This is not about coldness, it's about mastery. A Stoic doesn't suppress emotions, he governs them. He chooses when to act, not when to react. And this is what women can't ignore. A man who leads himself before leading anyone else. Now that you understand self-control as the foundation, let's move to the next pillar of the Stoic code, respect, because without it, love means nothing. Most men chase love, but they forget the foundation that makes love last: respect. Without respect, love quickly turns into manipulation, pity, or convenience. Women might accept your affection, but if they don't respect you, they will never truly value you. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery in relationships means being willing to walk away rather than compromise your dignity. Respect is earned not by being agreeable, but by standing firm in your values, your boundaries, and your self-respect. Look at the difference. One man begs for attention, tolerates disrespect, and sacrifices his standards just to keep her around. Another man calmly sets his boundaries, communicates with clarity, and refuses to trade dignity for attachment. Which one commands respect? The answer is obvious. Women may be attracted to charm, looks, or even wealth, but what keeps them invested is respect. And once respect is present, love naturally follows. But respect is not given once and kept forever. It's a discipline you must live by daily. And this brings us to the next Stoic principle: consistency, the quiet force that separates temporary attraction from lifelong influence. A single display of strength might catch attention, but only consistency earns lasting trust and respect. Anyone can act composed for a day, but a Stoic man lives his principles every day. especially when no one is watching. Epictetus reminded us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Consistency is proof of authenticity. If you set boundaries one day, but abandon them the next, you send a message that your values are negotiable. And once people see that, they stop taking you seriously. Think of a man who meditates once, reads one Stoic quote, and then brags about being enlightened. Contrast him with a man who quietly, daily disciplines his mind, controls his temper, and practices self-restraint. Who do you think a woman will trust more? The answer is clear. Strength that lasts is strength that's lived, not performed. Consistency makes your respect real. It tells the world and her that your standards are not a mask, but your true identity. But consistency requires more than effort. It requires purpose. And that leads us to the next crucial principle: direction, knowing where you're going and why, so your actions never lose meaning. A man without purpose is easily distracted, easily controlled, and easily forgotten. He lives for short-term pleasure, chasing attention, validation, or comfort rather than building something greater. And nothing makes a man weaker in the eyes of a woman than being directionless. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Purpose gives structure to your life. It shapes your decisions, strengthens your discipline, and makes you immune to manipulation. When you're driven by a higher goal, whether it's mastering your craft, building a legacy, or living with virtue, you stop needing constant approval. Women are naturally drawn to men who walk with direction. Think of the difference. One man spends his days trying to impress her, hoping she fills the void inside him. Another man is focused on his mission, steady in his path, and invites her to walk alongside, not ahead of his purpose. Which man will she admire? Always the one who leads himself. When you live with purpose, you become magnetic. Your energy shifts from neediness to leadership, and that leadership leads us straight into the next Stoic principle: independence, the freedom that makes respect and attraction inevitable. Dependence is weakness. The moment a man needs a woman to feel whole, he loses the very qualities that make him attractive. A Stoic man understands partnership is a choice, not a crutch. Seneca said, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little." Independence doesn't mean rejecting love. It means you don't need it to survive. When your happiness depends on someone else's actions, you hand them the keys to your peace of mind. Consider two men. One panics if she doesn't text back, adjusts his entire life to keep her close, and dreads being alone. The other enjoys her company, but is equally content in solitude, focused on his goals, and unshaken if she walks away. Which man holds the power? Always the one who can stand alone. True independence is magnetic because it shows you're whole. A woman may want to share your life, but she knows you don't need her to complete it. That creates respect, and respect fuels lasting attraction. And yet, independence alone is not enough. To master your inner game fully, you must practice emotional detachment, the final Stoic weapon that ensures no one can ever control you. Attachment is the silent destroyer of a man's strength. When your happiness depends on her staying, her approval, or her affection, you are no longer free. Detachment is not coldness. It is freedom. It means you can love deeply, but you never lose yourself in the process. Epictetus warned, when you kiss your child, whisper to yourself, tomorrow he may die. This was not cruelty, it was preparation. The Stoics understood that everything external is temporary. Relationships, possessions, even life itself. When you accept this truth, you stop clinging and you start living with clarity. Think of a man who panics at the thought of losing her. He suffocates her with neediness and destroys the bond. Now compare him to a man who values her presence but never fears her absence. He is calm, confident, and fully alive in the moment. That man is unforgettable because his strength comes from within. Detachment gives you ultimate control, the ability to love without fear, to connect without chains, and to remain unshaken no matter what happens. And this brings us to the final truth, the conclusion of the Stoic Code. Mastering your inner game makes you the kind of man women can't ignore. A man who masters his inner game is untouchable. He doesn't beg for love, he doesn't lose himself in emotions, and he never trades respect for temporary affection. By living with discipline, independence, and emotional detachment, he becomes magnetic, because strength, not desperation, is what truly attracts. This is the Stoic Code. Lead yourself first, and others will naturally follow. If this message resonates with you, don't just listen, live it. And if you want more Stoic wisdom to strengthen your mind and sharpen your masculinity, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Your inner game is your greatest weapon. Master it and watch how the world begins to treat you differently.